Hello and welcome to the Nürburgring, and we're bringing you another special one-off. Now, why would we do this again, having done one at Barcelona? There's a twist to this one. This is the inaugural European Super Touring Championship, live on Sweeney 57. Now, it's the usual lineup. Adrian Michael-Rees, as per usual. Alongside me is Christian Shepherd, and with the drone cam, our now regular Michael Swinnerton. Hello to you both. Hello to you both.
Hello and welcome. Yes.
Hello and welcome. Yeah.
I didn't expect that much of a satellite delay, seeing as you're, there, right next to us.
Yeah.
But yeah, let's
Microphone,
let's go through this.
microphone
It's,
issues. We're back at the Nürburgring. You remember what it was like?
yeah, it's the another launch day for some familiar cars and yet some unfamiliar cars as well. But we'll let Swinney take control, and we'll see what we got lined up for the inaugural European season. Swinney, off to you.
Yes. Thank you very much. So yes, I am in control of the drone cam. So this is the grid for season one of the European Super Touring Championship. So the main distinction and kind of the reason for this championship being born in the first place is the series organizers of the World Championship have seen fit to expand, and B, this championship doesn't have the 5-door rule, so this one allows for the 3-door coupes, thus allowing BMW and Volkswagen to run the M2 and the Sirocco that you see there in the forefront that have now since been banned from the World Championship. So, moving through the grid, we will do like we did for the other one. We'll start here with BMW. Now, quick side note. There are no cars 1 and 2 because there is no defending champion. So we're starting with
New
cars 3
season.
and yes, exactly. We're starting with cars 3 and 4. Numbers were drawn essentially by random, starting with the works teams and then doing the privateer teams at the back. So there is no real correlation on the speed of one team over another based upon the car numbers. That'll become apparent next year.
It's just coincidence that 3 and 4 and 5 and 6 belong to two of the most predominant teams in last season's World Championship. But we'll just leave it at that.
Yep. It's coincidences. They do happen. So starting with BMW at the front of the grid here, they have managed to coax Maro Heidfeld out of retirement to come and run this M2 once more. I believe Maro agreed simply because he gets to stay in Europe, and there are less races on the calendar for this one as compared to the World Championship. So they were really the factors that allowed BMW to coax Maro into doing a little bit more driving before he finally hangs up the helmet.
He did have 1 year left on his full-on works contract for any BMW to take part in, and this is going to seal that, sort of end that career off on a high with the last year of the contract
Yes, he may
intact.
he may opt to stay on an extra year or two, but that's that's a decision he's going to make come towards the end of the season. He said so. We'll look for that as and when it gets announced. Alongside him is young Polish driver Marco Kubica. This is another one with rallying experience, so we'll see how well he does switching from a 4-wheel drive car to a rear-wheel drive car. Moving on, we have the Volkswagen teams. Now, this Sirocco was going to be the performance package upgrade that they were going to bring to the World Championship, much like Renault have done in the World Championship with the big new wing and splitter and what have you, and then the rules changed. So these cars found their way here instead, with Swede Stefan Nilsson driving the lead car there, and young British driver Sean Morris taking over the second car here, with nice matte livery to go with it. Moving on, we have Audi. Now, Audi have brought a front-wheel drive TT for this championship.
Hold on a minute. 4-door, 3-door rule saloon car. Now,
Yeah, this is where
going
the
from
rules get a
conversations
bit
we've
on a
had,
grey area.
yes, by all means, continue.
Yes. Yes, I think they've gone with this because it's a slightly more aerodynamic shape, and they've studied the rule book well enough to go, look, we could use this. So here we have a front-wheel drive Audi TT taking part in a touring car championship, which is not the first time we've seen this happening. Looking at you, early 2000s DTM. So there's precedent for this car to be here, even if it does look a bit out of place regarding its shape. But its drivers, we have Scotsman Rory McNish driving one of the cars, and then we have a Finn by the name of
Tony Gronholm.
Tony Gronholm taking over the driving duties of this car. And for those of you eagle-eyed viewers, you'll notice that the livery is a bit of a throwback one.
If it's going to be canon, that's going to be the Audi R8C that took part in Le Mans in 1999. I suppose that is the sort of 25th anniversary of that particular livery. No better
Yes,
place
I
to put
believe
it,
they had other
all things
influences
considered.
as well. 10 points for anyone in the comments who clocks where the other influences come from for that. Now, moving on, we have Renault. These are, just like the BMWs, these are ex-World Super Touring Championship cars that have been given a second lease of life in the European Championship. So we have the Italian driver, Jarno Capelli, driving one, and Frenchman Henri Bianchi driving the other one. Now, we know these cars are quick in a straight line, so we'll see if they can do something about the other cars around them in the races to come. Now we have another
Especially
one
in
of
testing
the...
around here as well, no doubt.
Yes. Now we have another one of the newcomers with Peugeot. Again, similar strategy to Audi, opting to use the RCZ over any of their actual hatchback models.
Yeah, I would. I mean, it would have been nice if Peugeot. I was going to say had some common sense, but there's better words than that to use. But by all means, Ivan Dalmas there, number
Yes.
11.
Yes, being joined by Portuguese driver Pedro Barbosa here. I think it's along the same lines of it's the aerodynamic shape they're going for over a hatchback with its boxy rear end. But again, we'll see how well these cars do over the course of the season.
In fairness, I think it's a step up from the single make championship they have on these. It's just like an evolution spec, so to speak. I mean, I can't wait to see this go into some of the other guys, and hopefully it works. To my mind, that shouldn't be anywhere near them, but let's see what power they've got in the engines.
hmm So yes, moving on, we have the Hyundai team. This is the other rear-wheel drive car on the grid, with Hyundai using this Genesis Coupe here, with Hungarian driver Norbert Tassi taking over the wheel of one, and we have an Italian by the name of Gianni Liozzi driving the second car here. And that
This
does
sort
it
of
for
fits
the works cars.
this Hyundai though does tend to fit. I mean, it looks to me like it should be a touring car, but you have your doubts about this?
Not particularly. I mean, they're obviously utilizing the three-door coupe rule because it would be very easy for them to show up with an i30N or a Veloster, but they've opted for this instead. I think because it's rear-wheel drive and they can get the extra performance out of it, and it can be nicer on its tires and so on and so forth. So I guess that's the angle they're going with here, compared to some of the other teams.
And that should be your big six at the front. Now it's
That
going to be looking at the independents.
Yes, so that is all the works cars. Now we're going to move on to the independents, who start here with the Team Vodafone cars, also running Peugeots. So Peugeot have built 4 cars, using 2 for themselves, and have farmed out 2 for a privateer team here. So again, we'll see how well these guys do in comparison to the Works RCZs just in front of them. And their driver lineup is Esteban Ordóñez from Spain and Turkish driver Erkut Gavan. So we'll see how well he does. And it's not often you get a Turkish driver on the grid, so that'll be nice to see in amongst all the flags at least. Moving on,
Europe
we
is
have
truly
another...
represented.
Yes, we have another ex-World series car. This is the ex-DHL car, now still under privateer hands with this AC IKEA team running the show here with German driver Walter Vettel. It's easy to say, it's fast, I would assume.
Walter Vettel, yes.
Yeah. Try saying it 3 times quickly. But yes, Walter Vettel driving this car. We'll see how well he does as the other rear-wheel drive car on the grid. And then
Single entry as well.
Yes, just a single car for this one. 2 more ex-World Series cars. These cars are used to be in Team Tamiya colours, and now you can clearly see they're not. With this Team Europe car showing up with both Tamiya entries.
I was laughing because I'm trying to picture where the sort of Tamiya blue would be or the Tamiya red, but then of course it's always been red anyway. The rest of it, yeah,
Yeah,
very
I
well
mean,
scraped off.
they got a full stripping and a full rewrap, so
Especially if it's
it's
going to
not
be
like
metallic green.
yeah, it's not like you could chip the paintwork and see that peel it and see Tamiya underneath. But yes, they have German driver Heinz Winkelhock driving one, and all the way from New Zealand, Kiwi driver Shane Radicic driving the second one. Look, apparently he's very excited to start racing in Europe as he's never done it before, so he has very limited track knowledge and he's very eager to start learning.
I suppose it's a good place to start as an inaugural championship that's one step below the main game. Hopefully, we'll see what comes out of that
Oh yes,
team,
quite.
especially
And
with Shane.
plus we know these Hondas they're a known quantity. We know that they are, very solid and very reliable race cars. So shouldn't do too badly by them, depending on setup and what have you, of course. So moving further down the grid, we have
It's your boy.
it's young British driver Anthony Ingram driving. This is the final ex World Super Touring Championship car, because this was once driven by one Nico Wirtz, possibly to a championship if you recall correctly.
Absolutely.
This new HPI racing team have bought the car, prepped it, and have got Ingram in to do the driving duties. So he will be double dipping both championships as we discussed. So he'll get
And
the
you don't
extra
have
track
any.
time.
Sorry, Tim, but he's just driving. This is not your team. You're not
No,
the
no,
main.
no. I have nothing to do with these guys. But yes, another
No.
single car entry. Hopefully he does well in it. It seems to be. I mean, we know it's a fast car, so I think he's quietly confident about what he can do in this championship. And then,
And you said that was the last of the world cars, but then all of a sudden I'm seeing these two Ford Focuses,
yes,
Foci.
these are brand new Focuses. These are not
Ah,
X3M cars. These are not X Works cars. These are actually brand new cars with nowhere near the amount of mileage on them that the four in the World Series have.
and yet
See,
somehow still independent.
yes, I believe this team went to Ford and asked, could we have a pair of cars being built? Ford gave them a quote for some money, and here they are.
Okay, fair enough then.
So they're built and prepped by the Works team, but obviously they're now independently run. But yes, the driver lineup is Irishman Eddie Carroll driving one, and British driver Steve Percy driving the other. That is your European Super Touring Championship grid for this first
Well,
season.
with a
Best of
lot
luck
of
to all
these,
drivers.
being rookies, obviously there's no rookie badges on the back. But where do we expect the front runners, the championship, to be between? Who will be looking at? Do you reckon?
Ooh, I mean, obviously we know that the BMWs is a known quantity. Um, that Volkswagen should be quick, given its previous track time and what we've seen from them so far, especially with the big performance upgrade packages on there. The Renault is a known quantity. We know how fast that thing can be in a straight line. So yeah, like I would err on the side of caution and say the cars that have had more running will probably do better in this championship. But I am open to being pleasantly surprised and made to be incorrect for sure.
I'm looking forward to see what Audi can do because that looks as one hell of a crowbar to get into a touring car series. Twidry does look the part, but it's not a touring car, is it? Christian, apologies if we've not heard from you during this time. Got any questions for Swinney?
No, not in any particular way. No, it seems to seems to be fairly on the same side as its let's say more illustrious championship. So there's not a lot really I could really add to all this.
Fair
And
enough. Well,
these guys will be doing some testing mileage around the DTM layout. It's the arena and then bypassing the full Grand Prix loop. But we should see some decent times in the next couple of days. And then they should really be off to, if I remember correctly, that should be Brands Hatch for round one, and that's the Indy
yes,
course as well.
Brands Hatch is round one.
Making room for the, because Brands Hatch, as we remember, was towards the end of the World Championship. It's a good, I would say, it's a good barometer to start the season off with. Fast, but still slow, slow turns, short lap. Should see plenty of excitement. A good advert for the start of a new season and a European Championship. And as the drone heads off down the start finish straight, shall we leave it there? It'll be good racing for everyone. We should see you for round one. Ta for now.